Welcome to the Metameme Panel. I am Nick Douglas, editor of Slacktory. And what? Oh, jeez. For the, what is, oh. And so this is a panel about meme genres and self-referential memes. And, oh God. And falling deep into a well of self-referentiality. There is a hashtag, obviously, Metameme. I wanted to make it hashtag, but people are actually just saying that normally quite a lot on Twitter. Questions are welcome on here. I'll try to keep a little track of it. Also, throughout, questions like if you want to raise your hand at any point in the presentation and jump in, that would be great. Questions, also comments, especially from those of you who have created a meme that falls under the categories we'll be talking about. I do want to talk about examples of the kinds of memes we're talking about. Our advice animals is one of these, obviously, one of the most famous ones. You are all already very familiar with advice animals. Probably a lot of you know about Scumbag Steve and how he is not just Scumbag Steve, but because of the hat, partly, has become this symbol for a whole other raft of memes. So this is just one basic, obvious example of the kind of thing we're interested in, that when you enter Scumbag into Quick Meme or Meme Generator or the other worse competitors, you get, sometimes with the hat, sometimes without the hat. It turned out that one of the reasons we love Scumbag Steve so much was not only do we have a friend who's like that, but we also have a lot of people who we think have dicked us over and want to talk about. And so there are just, 616 pages of kinds of scumbag memes that people have created, not just of, the example, of the single ones. So now I'm going to introduce our panelists. We're going to talk about all of the metamemes that they have created. I'm going to start with Graydon and Kyle of Shit Girls Say. And can you tell us a little bit, well, I don't know. How do we want to do this? Well, I'll introduce everybody first. I don't know, moderating. Lindsey, Weber from Buzzfeed. Weber.
It's Weber.
Fuck. Okay, Topher Chris Price from Tumblr.
Yes, I'm Tumblr's jackass in chief.
And first, let's talk about the Shit Girls Say story.
Sure.
Just a quick recap for everybody.
Hello, can everyone hear? Yes. We started the Shit Girls Say Twitter feed about a year and a half ago, last April, or a year and a month ago. Based on, we were sitting around one day and one of us asked if the other could you pass me that blanket? Which we thought as a feminine phrase, and we started wondering what it meant to gender a phrase, and from there we suddenly came up with a lot of phrases that fit into that genre. And so we had a Twitter feed, and then I'm a director. My background is in film, and I wanted to do something to kind of liven up my reel. I hadn't done something in a while, and I wanted to try comedy, so we made the video. We launched the video in December with Juliette Lewis, who was one of our followers on Twitter, and then it took off immediately, and now we're here.
Excellent. And were you at all, a lot of people obviously ask if you were at all inspired by Shit My Dad Says.
Yeah, of course. I was saying to you that I meant to get a Shit My Dad Says t-shirt today to wear on the Metameme panel, but I couldn't get it together. I went for a boozy brunch. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that these things all inform each other. I mean, we were at the Supercuts panel this morning, and our style of editing was I didn't realize it until this morning, but it's very much a kind of supercut. I mean, everything's very related, and we try to give credit where we can to him. He's kind of the granddaddy of what we've been able to achieve, and we wouldn't be here if he didn't do what he did. Yeah.
But oddly, he didn't end up inspiring a lot of copycats necessarily. A few, but it was nothing compared to what you guys accidentally started. Or did you have any clue that possibly someone was about to do something like this?
Well, nothing really happened until the video came out. Like, we had a couple of Twitter followers, or Twitter accounts come up that were similar, but they never really took off in the same way that the videos did. But we never anticipated it doing what it did.
When did you first find out? Did you know about the first?
It was like 2 days later. It was Shit Black Girls Day, the Billy Sorrell's one. That was the first one that we noticed, and I think he was the quickest.
And I'm going to show, just for anyone, we'll have a few seconds of completely broken audio listening.
Hey, are you near a computer? Can you read this and see if it makes sense? Can you look something up for me? Could you do me a huge favor? Could you do me a huge favor? Could you not do that, please? Could you pass me that blanket? Could you turn it up a bit? Sorry, can you just turn it down a little bit? Oh, I had such a good sleep. I had to get up at like 6 this morning. Reach in my bag. Go to my purse. Did I lock the door? Yes. What's my...
So Shit Black Girls Say is, there we go. The first video to spin off.
Can I use your computer? I need to check my email. Babe, you remember my password? How you turn this thing on? Come look at my computer. There's something wrong. It's got an apple in it. It's bit out for. Can you pass me that? Can you look at my bag? Can you look at my bag? Give me my purse. Ooh, pull up the episode of Basketball Wives. Did you see my Basketball Wives? Ooh, Basketball Wives is on.
And not long after that, of course, Shit White Girls Say.
Not to be racist, but
Not to sound
racist.
My grandma hates collards. Wait, is that racist?
Why isn't there a white entertainment television?
The Jews were slaves too. You don't hear us complaining about it all the time.
Is it like bad to do blackface? Is that still like a thing?
You can say the N-word, but I can't. How is that okay? My best friend was black. I mean, she's still black. We're not really friends anymore.
Oh my god, I'm practically black. Twinsies!
And was that the first of this other subgenre?
Yeah, that she was the first to do that.
Can you talk a little about this particular direction that this took?
It's not something that we anticipated either. That was like a further take on it that we never really thought of. It kind of takes it away from the comedy thing that we were trying to do.
Do you find it still funny, or are you saying it was less comedic? Or
no, I don't think it was
a
less
different
comedic.
kind
It
of
was
comedy?
just, I think it almost turns into a really interesting way of activism, or doing activism, I would say.
Yeah, our intentions were not as political. I think it was just purely something that we felt, whereas something she felt kind of slighted. So that became a way for her to be able to express that, and I think it was successful. And yeah, she became the kind of granddaddy under the meme genre of this shit X says to X, whereas we were the shit X says. So yeah.
Can you name some of the other ones that you've seen? We won't go through all of them, but just some of the other shit X says to Y variables.
I think the shit Sri Lankan mothers say to their kids was very funny. There are several we've watched a lot at the beginning, and then we kind of lost track. But Shit Nobody Says was a successful one in the same genre of what we were doing, and then yeah, there have been what are those? I mean, we loved Shit Black Girls Say. There was so many.
I did Has Anyone Seen This Shit.com with my coworker and Greg, who was my coworker Tanner and Greg, and like this was at the peak of it when I made it because I was like, I'm so annoyed by this, and like I feel like I really would appreciate if there were no more duplicates. So let's like make a thing so no one will make them again. And it just turned like.
Why do you have a problem with duplicates though? Like you were just like too much fun on the internet.
Because I work at Buzzfeed, and I think like
half.
the tip lines were just swarmed with these for like a week. Like
so when this happens, yeah, this is like this takes over your life.
Yeah,
Okay.
not my life specifically, but yeah.
So you were.
I have a question. Is there a shit says?
Yes.
There is.
Of
Okay.
course there is.
Just making sure.
Probably more.
And this is live updating. So like we
There are
have
many.
like a back end Google. Greg knows that we just add URLs to because like it shitters say great.
Thank you. Thank you, Internet.
That's Keith Haskell. Great. That's great.
2 minutes of this.
This gotta be the tiniest toilet in the world.
Does anyone have a suggestion for one we should look up, by the way, just while we're on it? Yeah?
Should you guys see their cats?
Rich.
I think it's no. You can't.
I had it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
I can't.
do two.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
All right.
Do you guys want Peking duck? Or do you want pollock and chicken?
Winston, finish your food already. We need to go to work. You threw up over here.
Come on, Rudy. Don't sit in the corner. Spend some time with me. We only have 2 days a week.
Them's the hammer pants. Hey.
He's my little boy. He's my baby. He's my little baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, clearly this grew to the point where you could name pretty much any thing that people have an opinion about. But I still want to talk about how there was this whole branch that was specifically about gender politics, identity politics. How much did you feel? You were telling me a little earlier that you didn't see a lot of it necessarily as an attack, as aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we both grew up with single moms and sisters, and it just really was something that used to be. It was a cliche of my butt. Do I look fat in these jeans? And these kind of cliches from a long time ago that got put aside, and nobody ever went any further with it. And I think what we did with the Twitter feed, and not to self-aggrandize, but what we tried to do was think of every tweet and look at it what the layers meant and why it was funny, beyond being sexist, hopefully. But we talked about each one, we'd repeat it, we'd see if there were different ways to understand it, and if the more complex it was or the more ways you could say it to somebody, the more successful it was usually, and got retweeted, or we could say to each other and would really laugh. I mean, that poor dog needs water is my favorite one, and it's just so like, that poor dog needs water, but walk on by. I don't know, and I mean, it's not totally gendered, but I think that the thing is, when we first started, our Twitter handle was only girls say, and within 2 tweets we were like, that's not right. We say this, everyone says these things, but I think what people do is come up with this character that's a woman, and they are able to say it in this voice. So yeah, there's this gender thing, and I think one of the critiques has been that we've portrayed a ditzy girl, but the thing is that we never meant for it to be a ditzy girl or a stupid girl. These are things that a lot of people say, our friends say, I say, we say, that we don't think our friends are stupid. It's just this pervasive way of speaking that everyone does, but for some reason nobody had picked up on, and we didn't realize that we had picked up on it in such a way until it got
Do you think
so
there's
big.
something about how the first video was a dude playing a girl that that's the comedy, and then it turned into people doing videos about themselves almost like the first 2 videos that you showed?
Right, because there's kind of a division. Right, there's people playing the other that they're talking about, and then it grew more into.
They're playing the other that's saying the shit to them, and that's when it kind of feels like an assault. People, are saying like a little bit defensive, when the first one you guys did was more of like a comedy sketch because it's got cross-dressing in it, which is
and the cross-dressing was less like, I don't know, it was more because I love attention. And I've done drag before. I mean, it was, for me, we had read Bossy Pants by Tina Fey, and my worst nightmare, once it started getting popular, was that she would be upset that I was playing a woman and taking a role away from a woman, but it was also something that we had done with our Twitter feed. It was a way to introduce ourselves and pull back the curtain without being like, oh, it's just some guy.
I mean, there's
I
something to be
also
said.
got
I
to be
mean,
a
you guys made
character,
it. You're both men. You made it. So it's, okay.
So, but yeah, there's, it's very complex.
Very.
Cool. And this gender politics thing reminds me of this other very popular platform that all came out of a single blog. So a lot of you know Fuck Yeah, Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling says, hey girl, and just, says little sweet things that you want Ryan Gosling to say to you. It was cute. It was very niche. You would think that this was like, this would come and go and turn into nothing. But there became Ryan Gosling for everything. So Fergus, can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Absolutely. Ryan Gosling represents what we call Tumblr gold. In other words, if you post anything about Ryan Gosling, the Tumblr algorithms will lift that content up automatically and give you extra notes. I'm lying. That's not true at all. But thanks for coming along with me on that. No, people really like attractive men who are nice to their ladies, and Ryan Gosling. I think that's really the thesis of this. Just look at him.
I mean, he feeds into this too.
Just-
like the minute this started, he
Just look at the man.
Which is interesting. Like usually you think like when someone joins in on something, then it's ruined. Like once
No,
Ryan
Ryan
Gosling, but
Gosling
no.
though. He made it better.
Is it because he's like just indie enough that it was like okay?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Is it like because Ryan Gosling is just indie enough that having him come in, and I guess did he do anything to like?
He like read the Hey Girls on an MTV interview. That was the first kind of thing. But he had such a good humor about it, I think, and everyone saw that it was really just like a very genuine appreciation. A lot of memes the reason memes get ruined by the people who are there about is when they hate them. I think ROFLcon is the example of the opposite of that, and that's why you're all here listening to memes talk about themselves. So like.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, he did the perfect thing and then kept being adorable and
he kept it
being
going.
photographed with his dog and all the other things.
He inspired it. I think he kept it
Also,
going.
the Hey Girl lexicon is super pervasive, like super catchy, and that's what I think everyone.
It seems like the sort of thing you have a voice when you do it. It's like, hey girl.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to be able to play that a little.
I mean, I was just in the panel with the Old Spice guy, and that's the same voice. I think it's a very similar voice.
Can you do that voice?
No.
Oh, I was playing it much higher up. Hey girl. Yeah. And you were imagining some deep. Yeah. All right. So of course, feminist Ryan Gosling actually became one of the breakaway hits.
My favorite of this series.
Yeah, and got really complicated. Like the joke eventually became, how long of a whole, specific reference can we? This, of course, is a reference to when Tucker Max, who is trying to pretend he's redeeming himself in the world, tried to sponsor a building, or get a building named after him. A Planned Parenthood center named after him, I think. And of course, they turned him down because he's an asshole and no one wants their medical care to be associated with him. If we can applaud for Tucker Max being an asshole. So,
what I think is funny about this, though, is that the further the Goslings go, is the less and less they have to do with Ryan Gosling.
Right. Like he's a convenient face for,
He's a symbol of.
And Tumblr itself is like
all that is good in the world.
A thing. Yes. Like, because you can make basically throwaway Tumblr accounts.
Yeah, that's true.
That are free and.
Make as many as you want.
Yeah, so I think that's the main.
There's no.
Yeah. Exactly. Same with Twitter for shit whoever says
Somebody just made one right now.
Oh my God.
Somebody just made a new Ryan Gosling blog right now.
What was it?
I don't know. I just
There's
heard
statistics like every minute 10.
Shit panel. Oh, that's the one.